Well, at this point, Oli, the information is quite sketchy. As you can see, we're right at the scene, and it is cordoned off, of course, as police, process the scene. The suspects are still at the scene as well. But the information that we're getting here, Oli, is that these are alleged online robbers who lure victims using vehicles. They post and advertise a vehicle, and when somebody wants or shows interest in purchasing it, they then lure them and kidnap them in order for that particular victim to withdraw cash and, of course, be prompted to give them even more money. And this, we understand, could have been a sting operation because the previous post that they had posted was still up, and the police were following up on this particular matter. They came with somebody who would have been a victim, and a shootout ensues. As you can see, this is the vehicle that they were allegedly traveling on. It's in fact capsized, and the investigations, of course, are still ongoing at the scene, and they're trying to really just process the scene as more evidence gathering is currently taking place. We also understand that because the police were engaged in a shootout, there is a vehicle of the police which shows or depicts some kind of story around the shootout itself. So at this particular point, Xoli, there's really not much information, but we understand the Deputy Commissioner of the province of Gauteng, that's General Fred Gegana, is at the crime scene and will be giving us information at a much later stage. The suspects, like I indicated earlier on, are still at the scene together with the emergency medical services, who are, of course, attending to those who were injured. We understand that one of the police officers was injured during the process. My colleague Luyanda Zala is giving you visuals of the vehicle that the police were traveling in, and obviously you see the gunshot remnants there, which indicate that there was a shooting. But of course, like I indicated earlier on, General Fred Gegana will be taking us through this entire process and give us a sense of what could have possibly happened. You see there, police, still dealing with the scene itself, and like I indicated, emergency medical facilities or officers who are still treating some of those who may have been injured during this particular time. We're obviously moving because this is a cordoned off area, so it may be a bit difficult to try and navigate this particular place. So the suspects are on the other side of this ambulance that you see on your screen right now, and on the other side, like I indicated, is of course General Fred Gegana, who will be talking to us. You see there one of the suspects being carried by the emergency medical services, who are at the scene still, of course, dealing with those who were injured during this shootout. So a lot of information Oli will be getting from General Gegana, who we understand will be giving us a broader perspective, because from what we know, these are alleged syndicates, an alleged syndicate rather, that has been operating in the area. Police are saying that, they were getting a lot of information and have a number of cases that involve this particular syndicate. So it seems this somewhat sting operation yielded some results. We also understand that there are some of those that made a run for it, and they're still on the run, and police are pursuing them. But at this particular point, the information that we're gathering from this particular scene is that the 5 are here and have been arrested. So while, of course, the emergency medical services are dealing with the wounds, police are also gathering information and evidence right at the scene. But of course, some of those that have been injured, like the one police officer I told you about earlier, has been receiving medical care. So at this point, really, it points to a scene that is still cordoned off, still quite active, because you see the suspects still on site. But of course, even those that have been injured now being taken away from the crime scene. So it is cordoned off, Oli, and we'll be getting more information as General Fred Kekana gathers it and will be coming to us to speak to us and give us more details around what could have possibly led to this point. But like I indicated, what they are telling us is that there have been quite a number of cases that have been reported in this Midrand area and surrounding areas, and the police have been investigating this alleged syndicate for quite some time, which has seemingly, in this particular case, used the social media platform Facebook to advertise this vehicle. There was a person who fell victim not so long ago, and today in this operation they came with somebody who would have been a victim of this particular syndicate. So you see there on your screen the police together with the EMS are attending to those particular suspects.
Linda, I know that the information still a bit sketchy at the moment, but let's just keep this conversation going. Remind us again, for viewers who are interacting with this story for the very first time, we see people who are already in bandages, badly wounded. So are we dealing with 5 suspects here? And what is their condition? No one has died? Is it just people who are injured at the moment?
Indeed, we're dealing with 5 suspects at this particular crime scene, but the understanding is that there are some who made a run for it after their vehicle capsized. So some of the injuries we understand that they may have sustained in this particular altercation or in this particular shootout would be due to the vehicle that they were traveling in capsizing. But we also understand that there was indeed a shootout and some of them were injured, including a police officer who was traveling in the vehicle that I showed you earlier on, which still has, of course, or tells the details of a shootout that may have happened here. So, like you indicate, the details are quite sketchy and the information is a bit thin at this point. But what we're seeing at the moment and what we know so far from the ground here is that there are 5 suspects who have been caught and have been arrested, and some of them that you see on your screens are indeed injured. So General Fred Kekana, when he comes here, will be giving us all of those details. But from the information that we have is that these are the 5 that they managed to catch during that shootout, because as they were making a run for it, their vehicle capsized. It's still at the scene that is cordoned off, and members of the public are not allowed to move anywhere closer to what you're seeing here. This is a gravel road, one that is quite narrow, so you wouldn't really expect, because from what I'm seeing and the little view that I have of the space and the area around, you get a sense that these are plots in Midrand, and you wouldn't really get a lot of people that are walking here, although there are some that we're seeing now, some of them even requesting to go past because they're going to work, they're going for their night shifts, but it seems they may have not been any eyewitnesses at this point who could really give us a sense of what it is that they saw. But we'll try to sort of get word from the nearby houses, the nearby plots here in Midrand, to get an understanding of really what they could have possibly heard, what could they have seen during this particular operation. But it seems the police were successful in their endeavors to arrest the suspects.
And the police officer that is injured, were you able to catch a closer look at him just to see whether or not he was badly injured? At the time that you showed us glimpses of the vehicle, it seemed that there were a lot of bullet holes on that windshield. And so it tells a story of just how intense this gun battle may have been. I'm just wondering about the state of the police officer who was injured here.
Well, when we arrived at the scene, it seemed the police officer had already been taken and attended to by the EMS officials here. But the understanding at this point is that he is currently receiving medical treatment, just like the one suspect that you saw being taken away from the crime scene. You speak about, this particular vehicle that the police were traveling in. Over and above the fact that the suspect's vehicle capsized, it seemed this particular vehicle that the police were traveling in may have also bumped or ran into some sort of object, because you see the impact right on the front, just besides the bullet holes that are on the vehicle itself. I mean, from where I'm standing, I can count about 5 bullet holes, 5 to 6 bullet holes from the windshield and even on the side. But you also see the impact on the front part of the vehicle, on the bumper, as well as, just around the front parts and the side mirrors, which tells a story of, police and the kind of battle that they were involved in with the suspects. But of course, police at the end of the day say that they managed to arrest the suspect, who they've been keeping a very close eye on, because it seems this alleged syndicate was operating in this area. And like I indicated, the police say that they were following leads, they were investigating quite a number of dockets and quite a number of people who may have fallen victim to this online robbery, as they would put it. So they are at this point saying that they've managed to at least arrest those 5 that were caught at in this particular area, to start investigations and, of course, ensure that there is a successful conviction.